afternoon, everyone. I hope that some of you will forgive me. I slept in. I was up rather late last night. Of course, I worked a little later than I normally do, and of course everybody knows why. If you're following me on social media, I've shifted from the pharmacy to another part of the business, and my first day, was it perfect? No, but I don't think I would have done it any differently. I don't think I could have done it any better. It was a great day back. Again, not perfect, but nothing ever is. There's more to learn. A lot has changed in 3 years that I was probably, I can say I was aware of it, but unfortunately I just never really thought it would apply to me until now, and now it does, and I gotta learn it, so. So I hope you'll forgive me for sleeping in. That's going to put me behind on the day, I understand. Today is Full Scale Friday. I will be doing a video very, very shortly after this one. It will be concerning gatekeeping in the tabletop RPG space, the hobby itself, and at your table. So, for those of you just joining us, you wonder how this works? It's very simple. Today I do what would be a full-scale reading. If you would like a private reading, there are almost always full-scale readings unless you say otherwise. And how do you get one? Well, it's very simple. You drop onto my wish list for Ophidius or for Amazon, throw me something off the wish list, and I will go ahead and, of course, I need an email, a name, and a day of birth, and anything $35 and under will get you 2 readings and a birthday reading. Anything above that get you 4 readings and a birthday reading for a total of 5. All right, and I'm not changing that. I'm not changing that because I know your money can be better spent elsewhere. Bills, food, that sort of thing. It is 100% completely voluntary, so if that's not your thing, that's fine. If you want to do it for someone as a gift, that is also fine. You know, you just let me know who we're sending it to and why, or, you know, that sort of thing, or you kind of give me a heads up and we'll see what's going on, right? Alright, cool. And if it's just not your thing at all and you just want to enjoy these free readings, that is perfectly fine. That's why I do them, and I hope you just continue to enjoy them, and I hope that they're really helping you, because that's partially what this is about. To be honest with you, and I should be honest because we've been talking about honesty and integrity, that sort of thing. The real reason I started this channel was really partially the advice of Brian Scarborough over at Fixed Air Moon, which I recommend checking his channel out. Very, very good stuff. It's well worth every minute you sit through it. If you get the chance to sit in on one of his live streams, those are a lot of fun too. I do recommend them. But it was partially his advice to do it, and it was partially my own laziness. Because every book that I read always mentioned keeping a tarot journal. Well, journaling takes a little bit of time out of my day that I'd rather not do. Plus, if there's an important message somewhere here in these cards, I want to share it with you. Also, if I screw up, I'm doing it right here in front of you. Remember, as much as I try to do it, it is almost 100% of the time one take and uncut. The only editing I do is to put the intro and outro in there, and maybe try to cut a few things for time, but that's about it. Most times I don't cut anything at all. Alright, so here's how it works. I've got your Viking Oracle over here at the top, spirit animal right next to it, tarot cards laid out just like traditional tarot or straight Tarot Tuesday. This is the uncommon tarot. I've got the Work Your Light Oracle, and then we cap off with the runes and we tell the whole story. Okay? But as each card is revealed, we're just kind of looking at one aspect of the story. If some things seem a little confusing, there's always something to clarify down the road, okay? So I know some of you are probably having your lunch or your dinner with me. This reading will cover the entire weekend, and thank you for joining me because I truly, truly appreciate it. And I put the wrong stone on the wrong deck. There we go. All right. Who are we this weekend? Well, you know, this keeps coming up and it's really kind of starting to shake me up a little bit. Because we are at an end. We're letting the old things go. The old things that aren't serving us. The old things that aren't helping us. And this is anything. This is a mentality. It's a way of doing things. Your willingness to start fresh at times has to overcome you pining for what once was. And if you find you're just pining for what once was there, go back to it. I can tell you this much right now, there were quite a few people who were shocked to see me in the other part of the business rather than the pharmacy. They were expecting me to be there. And when I wasn't, they were like, wait, what happened? And I just kind of explained to them, no, I'm moving to this part because it's a track 2 promotion. It's the first day of a year. But you and I know how time flies past us, don't we? So that had to end. The most important question to ask is, what lessons did you take from that end? That thing that's now behind you, what lessons are you taking with you into the future? Alright, now, you are being guided by Loki. Now, I should explain this as well. It is Loki that causes Ragnarok to happen. He is the one who gets everything kicked off. But we're not talking about Loki in that context. Loki tends to be very playful. He knows that things aren't always what they seem. You've got to be able to look past the surface. And if you can't look past the surface, if you can't think that like 2-3 steps ahead, well, you're never... What's the old adage? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. But Loki's is a very lighthearted approach. He likes to play around, if for nothing else than for his own amusement. It's okay to amuse yourself to a certain degree. It's the weekend. Amuse yourself. It's perfectly fine. From the looks of it, I'm looking at that Ragnarok card, I'm thinking, not maybe, but definitely, all work and no play makes you a dull person. Maybe it's probably time to engage in a little play this weekend. But you're being guided by an elephant spirit that says learn from the past. Don't be sad that it's over. Be glad that it happened. Right? What are you learning from your past? How is it taking you forward? How is that serving you? Those are the questions you got to ask yourself at all times, because let's take a scenario. You were bullied at one point in time. Now, you don't ever want to see that happen to anyone else. Right? Now, it can do one of a million different things to you. It can make you angry and bitter. It can make you learn that maybe you took yourself a little too seriously. It can It can make you look at that person like, hey, I think that person was trying to toughen me up. Maybe next time I'll show them that they might have made a mistake if they continue to do it. Sometimes just talking to them, why did you do that, helps. Try to make a connection with that person. See what the motivations were. I can tell you, there were a couple people that used to kind of pick on me when I was in school. And I learned to make friends with them. It wasn't many. It was only maybe a couple, maybe 2 or 3. And I asked them, why did you do that? And they said, well, I just wanted to see you toughen up a bit. That's all. One of them I actually fought, by the way. Anyway. Mentally, we got a 5 of Wands in reverse. We've got a 5 of Swords upright. And we got a 7 of Pentacles or Coins in reverse. So, mentally, it's a little bit of a shit show, isn't it? Just a little bit of one. But the good thing is you don't have to be so defensive. Remember, if you're on the defensive more often than not, it can really hurt. It'll hurt you more than it'll help you. Not everything is a sparring match, is what I'm trying to tell you. Not everything is a world of gotchas and dunks and things like that. So you're going to have to kind of get away from that idea. Because once that idea permeates your every being, well, guess what? You don't get any compromise out of the deal. You don't get to make peace. But right now you're at a stalemate, aren't you? Right now you're at a stalemate because of that 5 of Swords. But here's the thing. Right now, what you have is you're kind of walking away from the rubble. You're over it. It's over and done. Because one side has, in the sparring match, has given up. And let me show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Because it's, I think a lot of people are going to absolutely relate to this. This is the stalemate. Neither side can really win. Neither one. Now, there is a choice in this 5 of Swords, because you are mastering your field. You can enjoy peace if you want it. You can take it back, or you can just walk away from it. If you truly believe that what you loved is now being turned into rubble because you're constantly fighting for it, you can walk away from it. You gotta ask yourself how much it matters to you, though. Or you can rebuild. The problem is, when you're doing all this fighting, and a lot of the, since it's happening in the mental row here, it's all in your mind, you're going to notice a lot of wasted effort. You're not looking at this thinking, my goodness, look at how beautiful my garden grows. You're looking at it like, man, look, what do I have to do? And when people are telling you to rotate your plants so that they don't wither and die because of lack of nutrients in the soil, there you go. So what you're doing right now in your mind is not creating fertile ground to create, to produce, and to show the world. What you're doing right now is you're in a fight that's all in your head. You know not one side or the other can win. And you're basically wasting a lot of your time and effort on it. Time is the one asset you cannot get back, so it's best not to waste it. Alright, so physically, got a Page of Cups, Ace of Coins, Three of Cups in reverse. So this Page of Cups, this is very youthful emotion, very young emotion, and also immature emotion. But it's also good news. There's some feel-good news that's going to be coming your way. New opportunities present themselves. Here is the problem, though. Not a lot to celebrate right now. See, what I'm seeing right here is I am seeing someone who's very creative, who can't seem to let go of certain things. And listen, we're all a little guilty of it. I can tell you, creative space is all over the place. There are people who can't give up their victim mentalities, and that's a big part of it, and they're on both sides. Both sides claiming to be the oppressed. Both sides claiming they want to push the other out of that space. And there's no way to do it now. Because of technology, because of what we can do, there's no realistic way to do that. And I'm going to be doing a video on that later. So you don't have a lot to celebrate here. Especially if you're wasting a lot of time. You're going to have to do something. You're going to have to make something out of that time you wasted. If you're, you know, last night I muted a conversation because I was like, look, I'm done. I think I got all I need out of it. And I'll show you exactly why. I won't be able to show you the entire thing, but we'll be talking about it. Spiritually speaking, got a Nine of Cups here, got a King of Wands, and you got Strength. So here is where you should be drawing your biggest. You need to be leaning on this hard this weekend, because this Nine of Cups is completion. This is happiness. This is where you have reached a great point in your life. You're really in a good place spiritually, because that King of Wands is here, that lion creative freedom. And I'm not saying lying, I'm saying lion, much like the lion in this one as well. We have two lions that are popping up, very much Leo energy going on, and especially in strength, you're going to have to be able to withstand some slings and arrows. It's just how life is. Life loves to throw rocks, and they come from unexpected places. Here's the thing, you're not really facing as much opposition as you'd like to believe. You're really kind of standing in your own way here. We're asking for a lot of trust in these Work Your Life Oracle cards. But you do have that little, as it says, trust the nickel. That little sensation in the back of your mind that tells you to do something creative, something constructive. What is it telling you to do? Trust it and go with it. That's in your mind right here. Ladies and gentlemen, do you see that fight playing out in front of you all the time? If you do, then maybe you're just hanging out in the wrong spot. Here's the other thing. Trust your path. You do have a path in life, and if you knew you would be absolutely supported in every respect, what would you actually do? Let's talk about that for just a moment. If I knew that I had 100% support, you know, bills paid, nothing to worry about, what would I do? What I'm doing right now. These videos, writing that game, doing all of that. I would do it anyway. Even if I'm not supported, and I'm not really supported outside right now. Got a lot of moral support, got a lot of people backing me, got a lot of people giving me the, you know, get on it, doggone it, to quote Camelot 331. But I have to make my own financial way. And that's what I do. That's why I have a job. But I'm still doing what I love to do. And I know there are going to be people that are going to sit there and they're going to throw rocks at it later. And they'll never even look past the cover. That's fine. I'm good with that. But here's the thing. you're going to have to understand where your boundaries are. Learn when to say no, learn when to say yes, make those boundaries, and make them understood. Now, on certain things you do need boundaries. So right now, if I don't have the time to dedicate to another project, which I really don't, because I do have a full plate here, I'd have to tell somebody, yeah, I don't have the time for it right now, but if you can give me a little while, I might be able to do it. And if you can't wait, I can help you find somebody. Those are boundaries. Those are boundaries you can respect. You know, if you're at the table running a game, here's the setting. Here's what you can. Here are the themes we're going to explore. We're going to kind of do this, that, and the third. There's a general outline of it. If anyone has a problem with that, I understand. You know, now's a good time to decide whether or not you want to create a character for the setting. Set your boundaries. They are to be respected. Don't get crazy with it. You know, just set them calmly, intelligently. You'll find you get a lot more done that way. Alright, finally the runes. We've got Seulo, we've got Tivaz, and we've got Nalthese. So, interesting that this pops up in the mind, because this is actually spiritual, revitalizing energy. Like the Airborne song says, you know, I'm built to last, I'll never crash. I'm invincible tonight. Feel the energy running over me like a bolt of the sky. On another round in another town, I'll strike then I'm gone. I'm a high-octane hurricane, let's get it on. If you're focusing here, in your spiritual center, it starts to translate to the mind and moves down into the body next. All three have to start working in unison. This is how it's going to happen. Because Tivaz is all about balance. The first rune in Tyr's name, the god of justice. Also a god of war. But in this case it is about justice. Justice is restorative. Justice for you means you need to have your mind, your body, and your spirit working together equally. Not as one part or another. Everything has to work in unison. Everything has to work in harmony. That is called synthesis. When they start working against each other, that is antithesis. And that's not something you want, because you're just tearing yourself apart. So, really, what is it you need? Well, I can tell you this much. Nalthese is also telling you to break free of the obsessions. Many of us are just obsessed with certain things. You see it all the time. People are absolutely obsessed with their identity, or what they perceive to be their identity. And normally it's because someone else is telling them what they are. They can't think for themselves. They want to belong to the collective. They're not individuals at all. And they will do a great many things to identify with a group rather than just being comfortable in their own skin and being on their own and saying, no, I'm good. And when they see someone doing that, guess what? Oh, suddenly the vitriol comes out. They're the white knight one minute, and then they act like, you know, total slime lord the next. Because they're obsessed. And they can't stand to see someone going, no, I'm okay, thanks. Even that cannot be tolerated, don't you know? So, what do you notice about people like that when they're just being individuals? Many of them, I can tell you, have learned from their past. They're done with those days. Man, I just took myself way too seriously. You know, they're making jokes about themselves. They're comfortable with who they are, even if others are just not. It doesn't matter. You have to live with you. You have to deal with you. Now, this doesn't mean if you're comfortable being a jerk, be a jerk. It means it's possible, entirely possible, to be a kind individual who does kind things for the good of something that they absolutely love, and still piss people off just by being them. Want a shining example of that? Yodano on Twitter. One of my favorite people to hang around, should be one of yours too. That guy loves some Dragonlance and turned me into a big fan. So, that's because his love for Dragonlance supersedes everything. It supersedes the drama between me and another author. Actually, that won't block me. I'll get more into that later, but it supersedes everything. The only thing that takes precedence in Yodano's life is his children. He'll put them before Dragonlance, I guarantee you that. But he still loves Dragonlance enough that he wants you to play with him. He wants me to play with him. He wants us to sit at his table and just play the game. And that's the way it should be for all of us. But if what you hate is taking precedence over what you love, then you truly love nothing. And that's everything, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on the next video that I shoot. At least I hope I will. I would love to have you tune in. It's going to be a rather enlightening discussion. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just remember, I love you all. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other. I want you to always do what lights you up and leave what doesn't behind. And this is the most important part. Always shine on. Have a wonderful weekend. Alright, just a quick post-credit scene because I wanted to kind of talk to you for a minute. I'm going to be doing a Work Your Light Oracle for the card pull for the single card short. That is going to be available on High Notes as well as YouTube Shorts, so I hope to see you for either one of those. But I wanted to let you know something. This is going to be something I'm going to cover. I'll give you a little preview of the next video I'm going to be shooting today. And it's this. This channel will never exclude anyone. Even those that hate my guts, and I'll tell you why. Because this channel, this particular thing that I do 5 days a week, is all about one thing. Empowering you. Yes, you watching this right now, I'm pointing my finger directly at you. It's about you taking your power back. That means you gotta stop worrying about what others might think of you. You gotta stop obsessing over it. You gotta stop letting people, or better yet, you gotta stop letting those people be guards at the prison you built for yourself. And if you're in a constant state of victimhood, that's exactly what you've done. And if you doubt me, start asking questions. Honest to goodness questions. You'll see the result of that very shortly. I assure you. Alright, take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Get out there and just do what lights you up. Share it with the world. Don't worry about what other people think. Just share it with the world. Alright? Take care.